dive into that portfolio a little deeper. We talked about golf properties and real estate. What other assets or deals makes up Trump's portfolio?
So the biggest category of assets that he has at the moment is a big cash pile. Now, I say cash, of course, this is invested in, bonds and funds and that sort of thing. It's not like he is, sitting on a bunch of, suitcases of $100 bills, but he has right now an estimated $426 million in cash. Now, that's the result of a handful of things. First of all, in May of 2021, shortly after he left the White House, he and his partner Vornado, which together they own 555 California Street, that San Francisco office building that's fallen on hard times, they refinanced that building and increased the debt load from about $535 million to $1.2 billion. That allowed them to suck out more than $600 million of cash from that property, much of which went to Donald Trump. So that gave him a huge boost. Then, flash forward about a year after that, he sells his D.C. hotel. Remember, this hotel attracted tons of headlines and tons of attention while he was in office. But truthfully, despite all of the allegations of corruption and all that, it was a terrible business. The thing lost a ton of money, but Donald Trump sold it in an amazing deal for him. Astronomical sum, doesn't really make any financial sense. And he walked away from that deal with what we're estimating is about $145 million of cash. So two huge deals right there. Then you've got a couple of other cash injections, which is one, he started giving speeches. Every politician gives speeches after they leave office. It's an easy way to make money. Donald Trump did some of that. He also wrote books. In his case, he wasn't writing, 500-page memoirs of his time in the office. He was doing things like making coffee books and whatever with public domain photos. But regardless, he made a lot of money from it. So you take the speeches and you take the books, combine those, you have about another $18 million. You add all of that stuff up onto the cash pile that he already had, and all of a sudden, he's sitting on over $400 million of cash. Now, that's going to be key for him in the next handful of years because, of course, he's facing massive litigation, including this fraud suit that's just started, where they're, trying to disgorge $250 million from him. So he's going to need some cash there if the verdict goes the wrong way. And secondly, some of these office buildings have their loans coming due, and he's going to have to figure out how to rework those, potentially take a little bit less leverage on those properties. And so he may need some cash to inject into those buildings to pay off those loans. So he has a lot of cash, but he needs a lot of cash. And overall, his empire is a little bit smaller than it was a few years ago.